This man named Hector loves peeking. Today he saw a scene quite dim, but not watching how long, the wife suddenly went to ask if the scene was beautiful. Hector only answered that it was quite beautiful. After that, the wife took the car key and left. He lifted the binoculars again when he discovered that the person was gone. Only on the ground, only the clothes were left. So Hector decided to go there and try it. When he went deep into the forest, he discovered that the whole girl's whole body was only one rope moving on her neck. Hector went first to see if she was still alive. He had just stepped forward when he was suddenly crashed into his hand. Hector hurriedly ran behind a tree, then used binoculars to see people which guy is stabbing. Hector only saw a man holding a black jacket, wrapped with a lot of ice fabric on his head like Egypt. Suddenly he turned his back towards Hector, making him bald. Fear of losing honey rushed away. Hector came to a mountain house to ask for help, but no one responded. So he picked up the stone at his feet and smashed the glass door inside. Here Hector found the ambulance bag in the room and took out a gauze to bandage the wound. Turn around to see a radio. He hurriedly picked up and asked if anyone. The landlord at the other end of the line was extremely confused. Asked Hector why in his home. Hector immediately explained that he was murdered by others while running away. There was no way to run here, so I hope the opponent will help him report to the police. The other person told Hector that this area had no waves, so he could not make a phone call. At the same time, through the home camera, the man also knew the man wrapped through the first hand holding a knife was very close to the place Hector. The emergency situation said Hector on the top of the mountain behind is a small house. There is extremely safe. Tell him to come there quickly. Hector finished running and ran at the altar speed. Finally ran to the house on the top of the mountain. Seeing Hector arrived, the man's mouth introduced himself as a scientist. Later, they could hide in this luminescence to avoid the pursuit of the other tape metamorphosis. Hector did not doubt like that, climbing into the machine. Then he called the scientist to enter, but the opponent pretended not to hear anything and then closed the device. After a series of white rays of flashing, Hector angrily jumped out. He asked the scientist, "Who said that I came in? Why didn't you keep the promise like that?" The scientist finished listening to him. In his memory, there is no man. Before Hector entered the machine, it was still night. Only 2 minutes to experience, but why the outside is the day? Hector does not want to argue with the scientist. He was only interested in where the tape was. So he picked up binoculars to search. Just in the right time to see his wife is planting flowers. Then on the corridor suddenly appeared a man suddenly. The next scene made Hector more surprised. After observing carefully, that man was himself. Hector was threatened with soft limbs. The scientist, after knowing it, was also afraid. It turned out that the machine was a time machine. It can make others return to the previous hours. So Hector is now Hector number 1, and the man in the house is Hector number 2. Hector finished listening to feel crazy. Why is there a copy of yourself? So he was responsible for the scientist. The scientist told Hector is not without a way. It is a trick to enter the number 2 into the time machine. Hector finished listening and wanted to act immediately. Drive a car to find Hector number 2. On the way, he saw the girl who had fainted in the forest was cycling towards her. Hector thought for a while. Incorrect. If she left now, Hector number 2 will not go into that forest anymore. It was when he was hesitant, suddenly a car ran to Hector's rear. The accident caused Hector's head to start bleeding. Because he stopped the bleeding, he removed the gauze bandage in his hand and swept it on his head. Seeing the gauze bandage with a red blood, Hector suddenly being aware. I am the bandage. The honest girl heard the collision, so she turned around to help. The axe Hector was out of the car, but Hector quietly took the scissors away. Then wear a black jacket, and then scissors threatened the girl undressing. Clara was scared that there was no other way to follow. Hector number 2 of the result was caught. The bald guy at this time threatened the girl who took off her pants. Seeing that she did not coordinate him, he only had to fight Clara fainting. Then take off all the opponent's clothes and put the girl down and wait for each sentence. See Hector number 2 go. He immediately took the opportunity to slowly approach and take action. Based on the planned plan, Hector threatened himself to fear and rushed away. As soon as he sat down to rest a bit, the back resounded the girl's shout. Hector thought that there was no bad thing, so he ran to find her. Based on traces, Hector came to his house. But when he was on the stairs, someone was attacked. So who is that person in the end? Hector tried to wake up to continue searching. Turning around, he saw someone climbing on the roof. Hector quickly ran to him, but while he had caused the introducer to fall to the ground, Hector stared at it and found out that it was a short-haired girl. Looking closely, this is his wife. Hector, although a bit eager, the love he has for his wife is real. So Hector decided not to save his wife. He bawled the radio to tell the scientist to cheat Hector number 2 into the time machine. Hector number 2 kept not returning to the past. The scientist walked out of the room and then quietly threw away the battery in his hand. Hector did not pay attention to the recent action of the scientist, at the same time asking the opponent to put himself into the second time machine to save his wife's life. But the scientist said the energy of that machine was not enough. Hector did not believe it immediately, went into the inspection room. He discovered a lack of a battery to start the device. After questioning the scientist by physical therapy, Hector only found it turned out to be Hector number 0. Hector 0 came here earlier than him. The purpose of the opponent is to save his wife. But then Hector number 0 used a radio to tell the scientist that he failed. The outcome will not change. At the same time, the scientist used all his strength to prevent Hector number 1's second non-piercing time. But Hector number 1 did not believe that it could not change the past, so he threw away the scientist's radio, resolutely not going to save his wife. At this moment it was heavy rain now. In the distance there was a police car horn. Hector once again returned a few hours ago. His plan is to kill Hector number 2 and prevent the opponent from becoming the name of the tape, so everything will end. Thinking that he drove a red car of the scientist on his way home, he met Hector number 2 parked on the road, so he stepped on the throttle, crash straight forward. The unexpected result is that Hector number 2 has nothing. As for myself, I was seriously injured. But this stupid action also helped Hector number 2 became the name Bang. It seems that he could not escape this circulatory round. Hector desperately opened the car door. The result was happening to discover the radio that I threw away before. Through it, he told the scientist that the plan had failed. I cannot save my wife. After saying that, he told the scientist to prevent Hector number 2 through no again, because it will be useless. This man saw his wife falling from the roof to death, so she chose the second time. It was when he thought the plan failed, a girl with a hot body was going to him. Clara saw Hector coming to the body full of gore, so scared. Hector hurriedly explained that she was hiding the name of the tape in the forest. Clara said she was sneaked by him earlier. If we are running away, why not hide together? Hector took Clara to his home to escape. At this time, the Jun's wife picked up from the corner of the house. Hector discovered her shirt on her body was not a red shirt. This proves that the person who falls is not his wife, but another. So a bold plan appeared in his mind. Hector told his wife to quickly hide into the closet. He then climbed into the house. Seeing the name, he is going upstairs to find Clara. Hector reminded the girl not to make a sound. And I took the table to hit people Hector number 2. When he was injured, Hector told the girl this was a crazy man who met him. If you want to run away, you must disguise it into another person. So he helped Clara cut short hair and round the red shirt. Finally, she led her out by the road that would definitely die. Look at the pure girl in front of her. Hector still threw her heart and said she ran away quickly. After that, he brought his wife who had not been able to sit on the chair in the garden, then quietly watched the starry sky. Suddenly, a moist sound moved. The startled wife wanted to go to check it. Then Hector stopped. I don't need to care about it. Because he knew this was the sound that the girl fell. At the same time, Hector number 2 is thinking that the person who falls is his wife. After many things, Hector had saved his wife and escaped the circulatory round. Of course, Hector number 3, numbers 4, or infinite numbers are still being put into the crime. Forever cannot end. Just because of a minute watching the girl, the outcome was really heartbreaking. So remember to be careful. The movie coming here is the end. Hello, and see you again.